Once we have seen which application we're going to create, let's proceed to create a new project with the .NET Maui template. Let's specify a name for this project, such as Color Maker. I'm going to click on the Create button to create the project, and once the project has been created, we're going to perform some basic actions to start creating our code for the application. First of all, we're going to indicate that in the app.xaml.cs file, we don't want to start with the shell page, but with the page called main page. Once we have made this change, we're going to go to mainpage.xaml and we're going to proceed to remove all the content that is part of this content page, since we don't need it. We're going to start defining some colors that are going to be part of the application. And it is that previously we have seen how we can assign some properties to the different controls. For example, as part of the properties of a button, we could indicate that we want a background color equal to aqua. The problem of doing this is that if we need to use the same color later, we would have to remember what is this color to apply it in all the places where we want to use it. And even worse, if we were to use an hexadecimal value to define the color. What can we do to simplify this? Well, we can define a section called Resources that is part of a content page. The content page is not the only one that contains this resources section, and we will see this as we go through the lessons. So, as part of the content page, we can define this content page.resources tag, and inside we can define a special tag that will allow us to define a color. This tag is called color. I'm going to assign it a color that I've previously defined. It is this one that we see here. We have here a problem in Visual Studio that tells us that we need to define a key for this color element that we have defined. What does this refer to? Well, we're going to use the following syntax to create an identifier key for this color, and we're going to give it a specific name, for example, primary, to indicate that this is going to be the main color of the application. We're going to proceed to copy and paste a couple of times more this label, and we're going to change the key to each one of them, otherwise we will have problems. We're going to name the last label as tertiary, and we're going to proceed to define a set of colors. In this way, we have already defined a set of colors that will be part of the content page and that we will be able to reuse. For example, if we wanted to define a button establishing its background color, we would have to use this syntax, a pair of braces, and inside the word static resource, to finally place the name of the identifier of one of the colors. For example, let's suppose that we would like to use the secondary color. In this way, we would already be applying a background color for this button using one of the colors that we have defined as part of the resource section. It is very important that you take this into account so that you don't have to remember the colors of the application. Later, we're going to talk more in depth about the resources topic, but for the moment, we're going to work with the colors in this way.